Am I the jerk for refusing to accept my best friend's new girlfriend? I, a 36-year-old female, and my best friend Jeff, a 37-year-old male, have been friends for 21 years. He was recently engaged to an amazing woman, Lacey, a 37-year-old female. She lives in Europe and was going to immigrate. She is smart, educated, speaks multiple languages, has a good career, and is beautiful. She is also very sweet, generous, soft-spoken, and affectionate. She really balanced his personality, as he can be quick to anger and negative at times. His son also loved her, and she loved him. They were together nearly 9 years, and naturally we became friends. Her immigration status got delayed by COVID-19, and things got strained. I noticed him getting annoyed by her wanting to talk or text, but relationships have their ups and downs. He had reconnected with an old friend, Ashley, a 40-year-old female who I had never heard of, and they had begun an affair. She was fully aware he was engaged. When I found out, I told him he needed to break things off with Lacey. She loved him and still planned to move here for him. He strung her along for a while until he finally broke it off, and Lacey was heartbroken. She and I are still friends. He and Ashley reconnected as she was divorcing her third husband. Jeff moved her out of her ex-husband's house and brought her a couple of states over to her mother's house. She had worked at a gas station for a bit before she abruptly quit, was unemployed, and was living off her child support checks. She has 3 children with different fathers. Jeff is not rich, but makes a decent living with good benefits. She is the exact opposite of everything Jeff has ever been attracted to or wanted. She had been previously arrested for domestic violence and child endangerment. She is constantly bashing her ex on Facebook, while also flooding pictures of her and Jeff as the perfect couple. There is even a cringe-worthy video of them making out. If he made her mad, she would toxically block his number until he begged her to unblock him on another messaging app. He started changing into someone I recognized less and less and doing things that seemed detrimental to what his goals used to be. She questioned his friendship with me. She stalked his ex-fiancé on social media and began liking her photos and sending her friend requests to torment her. Jeff excused it by saying she didn't do it to be malicious. Jeff's previously healthy dog died under mysterious circumstances right after she chose a new puppy. He called less and less and only came over when he needed something. He wanted to bring her to my house to meet us, but I said no. He would always be welcome, but not Ashley. She is a homewrecker, bad news, likely using him, and is cruel for taunting Lacey. I don't want her around my family. Concerns I brought to him were met with excuses and anger. Now we hardly talk, and I hadn't seen him in months. He got angry because I cannot accept his choice and just be happy for him. I will always be here for him, but I am concerned for him and don't want to invite a toxic person into my life. Am I the asshole? Your actions were justified. It's time to turn your back on Jeff and step away from the toxicity. He made his choice, and sometimes friendships are only meant for a season. You definitely don't need someone like that around your family. Am I the jerk for being rude to my parent even when they tried to improve? Ever since I was little, my mother always had a hatred for me, and she praised my little sister. My sister and I were different in many ways. She had good grades, while mine were just above passing. My sister was in the band, while I played lacrosse. My sister had friends that were good influences, while my friends were not bad influences but not especially good either. My mom hated that I wasn't like my sister, so she put all her attention on my sister instead of me. Since I didn't get attention from her, this caused me to get into trouble a lot so she would know I was there. This didn't help her hatred for me, but I got a kind of relief whenever she would scream at me. Her lack of attention toward me gave me attachment issues, often referred to as mommy issues, and worse, anger issues as I got older. The older I got, the lower my mental health became as I tried to impress my mother. I wasn't fully ignored though, as my dad was my role model in life. He always made me feel loved, and we had a close bond. Our bond only grew when he started coaching my lacrosse teams. It was nice to have a parent with whom I was close, but I still wanted attention from my mother. Everything changed when my parents divorced. She had cheated on him 5 times and decided a month before it happened that she wasn't into men anymore. I was angry at my mother and at the whole situation because my parents had been married since a couple of months after I was born. I bottled up my anger, which caused me to get into more trouble. I only bottled up my anger because I never liked opening up. I didn't trust people, so I never opened up. When I lashed out when I was 15 years old, it resulted in me being grounded for a few months. My dad didn't want me lashing out anymore, so he and I started going to the gym. This was good for both of us since it helped me take my anger out, and he had been wanting to go for a while. This gave my dad and me chances to talk so he could make sure I was okay. My mom never asked though. She didn't even really look at me, and when she did, I could see the disappointment in her eyes. When my dad moved out and the split custody started, I took it as a chance to get away from my mom. When I was at her house, I just went out with friends. When she noticed that I wasn't talking to her or trying to impress her, she tried starting conversations with me before I left, and I would just give her stale replies to end the conversation faster. My dry replies made her ask things like, "Why are you so mean to me? And what did I do to you?" These interactions also caused screaming matches between us. I would just leave the house though. I didn't want to deal with her. After she saw I would just leave, she would try to talk to me but struggle to find the words. I found this to be funny because she was finally feeling how I felt my whole life. So, am I the asshole? You are not at fault here, but you need to figure out if you want your mom in your life or not. If she starts trying to repair the relationship, you need to decide if you want to work things out or shut it down because of the past. Either way, it's completely your choice, and no one can blame you for whichever path you choose. It sounds like both of you could benefit from some professional help to manage this relationship. Am I the jerk for telling my friend I was walking their dog as a favor? I have been friends with Beth since first grade. We are in our late 30s and have had our ups and downs. I am a very direct, tell it how it is but laid-back person. She is more emotional. Sometimes I hurt her feelings with my frankness. I am more of the person who will tell you the truth if you ask, especially if I have known you for 30 years, but I am never mean, and I always apologize and try to do better. I have loved, supported, and valued her as a friend. I am married, have young children, and am in graduate school full-time. She is recently divorced and has no children. We live in a very pet-friendly place. I have worked in the pet care field since I was 14 years old. I am a certified dog trainer. I used to own a dog training business but recently sold it to my partner in a career change. Beth has a dog that she is very emotionally invested in. I get it, however, she is sometimes a little obsessive. Her dog is reactive and not easy around other dogs or moving vehicles and bikes. She asked me to walk her dog 3 times a week for half an hour for $15. I said I was happy to help her within her budget. For 2 years I have been working that hour of my time with the drive to her house included in my hectic schedule for her. Sometimes, she gets upset that I did not walk her dog for the full 30 minutes, but she also does not want me to force her dog to walk if it does not want to. She monitors me through her ring. She has also been irritated recently if I am not there at noon. I have communicated that I cannot commit to being there directly at noon all the time because I have appointments or have kid stuff going on. I always walk the dog before 2 p.m. Yesterday, she told me she will have someone else walk the dog because she wants it directly at noon. I said that is fine because it was just a favor I was helping her with, so I am not offended if she wants to hire someone. She got super defensive and upset that I would call it a favor. Maybe she thinks it was not a favor because she was compensating me with $15. We never had a contract and she just paid me over Venmo. She did not always pay on time, but I did not worry about it because we are friends. I told her if I were to charge her what I was worth in the industry, it would be a lot more. At my company, people would bring me their reactive dogs to walk for 30 minutes for $45. That works out to $60 per walk with travel time. I also told her you get what you pay for. Experience is worth more. She is upset with me for saying I was doing her a favor. I am not at all upset with her paying someone else. It is her dog, her choice, so I was not mean at any point. She asked, so I told her why I would have charged her more if I had not done my friend a favor. I need an outside perspective because I am sometimes too straightforward and not sensitive enough. So am I the asshole for telling her I was doing her a favor by walking her dog for $15? You're beyond generous. With her demands and irritation, she obviously thought she was in a superior position as your employer and doesn't want to face the reality that you were just helping her out. This might be the first post where someone who identifies as a direct, tell-it-like-it-is kind of person isn't an asshole. Your actions don't make you a jerk. Am I the jerk for not taking on more chores, but instead offering to pay for a cleaning service despite my partner's increased workload? My partner and I have been dating for 3.5 years and we have a great, respectful relationship. When we began dating in late 2020, I had just graduated with my master's degree while she was entering her senior year in college. We've been living together for about 2 years and have always split our bills 80-20, which I have no problem with. When it comes to chores, our apartments have always been on the smaller side, 450-500 square feet, so we didn't really have to do a lot of cleaning. We take turns doing laundry. I drive and buy groceries since she doesn't have her full license yet. I also clean the bathroom. She is usually in charge of recycling and vacuuming. Cooking is a bit tricky because we don't normally eat together, so we have separate meals about 2/3 of the time. I normally eat sandwiches, salads, or cook simple meals for myself. She is a brilliant cook and can always prepare some amazing dishes once in a while. We also don't do dishes together because I have a minor OCD and must clean all the utensils right away, while she sometimes waits for 1 to 2 meals before cleaning them all together. If I'm cooking, I'll do all the dishes within an hour. If she's cooking, maybe the next day or 2. She recently started her first full-time job after finishing grad school and told me she wants to contribute more to the bills with a 60-40 split, which I greatly appreciate. We recently moved to a much larger apartment, 900 square feet, but due to her new job, she doesn't have much time to do chores, which has become a big problem for us. Our chores used to be split about equally, but now with her new job as a teacher, she has to spend more time at home doing lesson planning and grading, on average about 2 hours a day, so she doesn't have much time for her share of the chores. I do have more time on hand, but honestly, I prefer spending my own time doing something I like instead of picking up more chores, especially since I'm already contributing more financially. I offered to hire a cleaning service once a week so she doesn't have to do anything but dishes and recycling, but she's strongly against this idea and said I am just lazy. She does around 50 hours of work, 40 plus 10 hours preparation at home, but I'm also working 40 hours full-time. And we've already been splitting chores equally despite me contributing more financially. Am I the asshole for not taking over more chores by myself, but instead offering to hire professional help? Absolutely, you are not responsible for this. You split finances based on income and tried to keep chores evenly divided, which sounds reasonable. Instead of berating her for struggling with her half of the chores, you offered to hire someone to clean and even cover it financially. It's a perfect solution because it removes possible arguments over chores and provides income to someone doing the cleaning. Am I the jerk for not inviting my father to my child's birthday party and now he is threatening consequences? A little background to this story. My father and mother got into a messy divorce and are not on speaking terms. I am a married adult with young children and own a home. This home is not particularly close to my father's house. My father has since remarried, although I did not attend the wedding. Now my son's birthday was coming up, and he said he wanted a birthday party. I do not know why, but for some reason I wasn't expecting a 3-year-old to want a birthday party, so maybe I am the asshole. I quickly invited some of my son's friends and my mother since she lived closer, and I knew she could make it on short notice. It was a fun party, and my son had a great time. I took pictures and posted them to social media when it was all over. Then came the text. The gist of it is, you don't invite me to family gatherings. You disrespected me by not coming to my wedding. Your mother has poisoned you against me. I won't be treated like this for much longer. There will be consequences. I was confused at first. I had just seen him last month at a small family gathering with his side of the family. I tried to explain that I couldn't have him and my mother over at the same time since my mother would just leave, and I didn't need that drama at my son's birthday party. I offered to let him come over and give my son a gift on another day if he would like. As for his wedding, I told him I didn't feel comfortable going. It was just weird for me and nothing personal. I told him I didn't appreciate the whole consequences talk. After all, I am the only child he has left that even speaks to him. I basically said he has to deal with the fact that he can't be over at the house at the same time as my mother. If he wants that to change, he needs to make things civil with my mother. Until then, he has to accept coming over for separate family gatherings. He took this as me taking sides, and we just went around in circles for a long time, with him claiming all his previously stated positions. I am tempted to do what my siblings have done and cut him out of my life, but at the same time, I want him to be able to have some kind of relationship with his grandchildren. So, am I the asshole for having 2 birthday parties for my son just to appease a parent that doesn't even appreciate the extra effort? I don't think I can keep doing this forever. I think my kids don't care now, but I would think they would resent this as they get older. It appears your father showed absolutely no interest in your child's birthday until you posted about it, and now he wants to act hurt that he wasn't included. Don't try to appease someone who is not being reasonable. Rewarding tantrums just gives you more tantrums. Parent your child in the way that makes sense for you and your family, and issue invitations you want to issue. Your siblings all going no contact is pretty telling of what kind of person he is, so I'd be hesitant to even want my kids to know him at all. Am I the jerk for bringing the family business to the brink of collapse? I come from a well-off family and decided to pursue dentistry to work alongside my father in his dental clinic. University was by no means easy for me due to the cultural shock of moving from a small town to a big city. The first time, it basically went all to waste as I sank into a deep depression that led to some anxiety and anger issues. Most of the factors that led to that were entirely under my control. I had just let it spiral. After moving to study abroad, I managed to graduate with mediocre grades. Now, with a fresh degree, I started working at the clinic. I thought I was doing quite well for some time. Some patients were rude, but almost all people were expressing a positive opinion about me. Well, it turns out I was hurting a non-negligible number of them while doing anesthesia, root canals, cavities, and the like. Many got scared off by that and my small outbursts of anger whenever some material or machine stopped working. It didn't happen every time such a thing occurred, and it was never directed at the patient, but it still left a sour impression. Thus, the clinic hemorrhaged patients while I was kept in the dark, thinking I was doing well. A stellar job with some minor hiccup along the way. I was so wrong. The worst part is that the dental assistants knew it all and kept the information from me, preventing any chance of improvement until now out of fear of retribution from my father. And here's the final straw. My father invested a lot in this clinic recently to accommodate both me and my sister, who also studied dentistry. Now, we face bankruptcy if we don't get enough clients by the end of the year. Now that it has all come to light, my father wants to downgrade me to be a dental assistant hygienist for the foreseeable future. It's a decision that breaks my heart just as much as the realization I was such an idiot. I still don't know how many clients I actually hurt. It makes me feel terrible. I spent so many years of my life studying to become something, only to stunt my growth due to circumstances and keep doing a poor job. I feel like I have a wide enough knowledge base to never make gross mistakes ever again, but I feel like I can't talk to anyone in my family about it, as they've accepted in their minds that I'm a screw-up. Good-for-nothing, job-wrecking, patient-scaring knob of a dentist. So what should I do? Step down and let my sister take the reins, go away, or try to be better? Am I an irredeemable asshole? You messed up. It's hard to believe you were oblivious to your behavior and performance. The way you talk about the experience makes it clear you don't take accountability for your actions, and your anger issues are a serious concern. You need therapy and possibly some more schooling because you're clearly not cut out for this industry right now. Thanks for watching. When you subscribe, make sure to hit the bell to turn on notifications so you never miss a video. To finish listening to all the stories, check out the playlist in the description.